Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Bash University Live. Hope you had a great holiday. It's been a couple weeks since we've been here, Riz. The Christmas is going by. We just had New Year's, and man, we're all getting ready to kick off the new year and can't wait. Can't wait to do that. It's a great time of year to be thinking about what you're going to be doing and learning and what you want to take on and in the world of fishing this year. We're gonna dive in with our group, and we're bringing on John Sooka, a friend of the show, Bassmaster Elite Series rookie this year, going on his sophomore season. And we're going to be talking about what went right, what went wrong, and plans for the future, for this upcoming year with him. And talking a lot of great stuff that's going on at Bash U. We're getting excited. I can't believe it, Rich. We're leaving next week.
I know.
Oh my God.
Like a week away.
It's here already.
Ready to go, man.
How'd that happen?
It's rolling, man. We're going to be rolling. That means that the classroom content is going to start coming out, guys. And if you haven't checked it out, man, we're coming to a neighborhood near you. I mean, I don't care if you live in California, you need to come check out one of our shows. We're going to be in Anderson, South Carolina, Athens, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana, and Gadsden, Alabama, with an amazing lineup of Bash University instructors. It's here. It's going to be pedal to the metal, man, but I can't wait. I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go too. And we're also guys that, you guys have heard of Crush City. It's making a monster splash with amazing soft plastics. This is the cleanup crawl.
They're legit.
So excited. Our promo going on right now is our subscribers will get a brand new pack of the Crush City baits in one of each of the categories. So go check it out. It's amazing soft plastics. I think you're really going to like it. The fish haven't seen them before. They're Jacob Wheeler inspired designs, and
guy knows a thing or two.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah, he's
maybe that's where they got the name.
It might be.
Maybe so.
Might be.
Well, we're gonna dive into to what our New Year's resolutions are, and what are yours? What do you want to take on and learn this year? What has escaped you or given you trouble, or something new that you want to take on this year? Let us know. Let us know, because we're gonna dive into our stuff too. And don't forget, like and share the feed. We've got a prize for you guys. We also have a grand prize, because we're going to be talking about a lot of fishing technique like we always do during the show. So we'll be asking a question about the show for our grand prize. What are we giving away, Josh?
We're giving away some power bait shaddies.
Chatties.
And a Bash U hat.
Nice.
Outstanding. Happy New Year.
I also wanted to say happy birthday to our subscriber, Nick Mayberry. It's his birthday today.
Nick.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Yep.
Say how old?
Nope. He said, Happy New Year. Going to celebrate my birthday today by watching the show and then try out some new gear.
Nice.
Man, that
sounds
awesome.
Like he's going fishing. That's good.
Yeah. I got a chance to get out with Jake just for a few minutes yesterday. We went out and did some pond fishing, and it's real cold around us, and we couldn't trigger any strikes, but we had fun. Jake got some new gear, and we were putting it through its paces.
Nice.
Down at the pond, and that's good time. I know he's real excited about this year. He's knee deep in wrestling season right now, and when it's funny, because I did it too when I was in high school. But when wrestling season ends, it's fishing season.
That's right.
It's like it's perfect timing.
I feel like fishing season doesn't end ever.
Well,
you are correct.
You are correct. You are correct. But in our part of the country, the winter just drags on in January and February, and then just about the time February starts getting a little bit of break. That's when our fishing.
Did you go fishing this weekend?
I did.
Exactly.
Yep. It never ends.
It never ends.
It never ends. Justin, Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
I understand you and Rich were busy stocking up on VMC and Rapala over the weekend.
Yep, we were getting thanks to Pete, me and Rich we're getting our gear ready for take on the Toyotas.
Yeah.
Got some red line hooks, a little bit of everything, stocked up on some Crush City stuff, so ready to go.
The interesting thing, and it kind of flew under my radar, is the awesome tackle storage systems that Rapala is putting out right now, and I'm a little. I didn't order any of those products. I got to get that dialed in.
Well, I'll
I
let you
missed
know
that.
how they are. 'Cause I stocked up.
We might have to do some like bartering, with all of our
Yeah.
Rapala VMC stuff. Like, well, I ordered a bunch of drop shot hooks. I'll trade your drop shot hooks for jigs.
There you go. By the way, I just remembered that Tackle Direct is having a year-end sale going on right now, 10% off. You guys want to go check that out. And I also want to remind you guys, subscribers to Bash U, man, you get access to that Rapala VIP program, and you want to get signed up for that and take advantage of all the awesome opportunities there, as well as all that other stuff that's going on over there at on our member benefits portion of our page. What do you got?
Speaking of member benefits, our subscriber Chad Thomas just said, learning
Chad?
how to pitch, flip, and skip. He just got the caching kayak flipping stick.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. The you got to check out my pitching and flipping seminar. Did we release that yet? I think that's coming.
It's coming. It's coming soon. Yep.
It's coming. I have been this technique has been one that I've mentioned it on the show before. I didn't realize that it was one of my strengths until I did some research into my performance over the years in tournaments, and I figured out that, oh my gosh, the more times I have that flipping stick in my hand, the better I do in a tournament. And so it's changed the way I think about how I practice. But we put together on the water just recently my strategy for flipping and pitching that we just filmed. It's going to be released real soon. So check that out, Pete. Are you ready to roll our little clip? Because there's there's so many big moments
What is happening?
that happened in 2023. And I didn't realize that this may be one of the biggest moments of 2023 that directly connects to us.
Yeah.
Justin.
Let's roll the clip.
All right.
Merriam-Webster announced that one of the site's most looked up words of 2023 was Riz, which is slang for charisma. But if you have to look it up, bitch, you ain't got it.
And thanks to this guy, we got plenty of Riz.
That's not the direction I thought that clip was going to go. Because when you said, well, it's got some cuss words in it, I was like, oh man, what is he going to have a meltdown of me like smashing something?
Nah, we would never do that to you. Just
Yes, we would.
yeah. Well, Pete found that TikTok clip and sent it to me this morning, and we brought it on the show.
Yeah.
It only felt right.
How's that feel? You were the most researched term in 2023.
Man, it's kind of weird, but
It's humbling.
yeah. Yeah, I like thank God. Bless me with the talents.
With charisma.
No, I really got to thank you, because if it wasn't for you stumbling over my name 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever it was, it never would have happened. So
That's awesome.
you and Mike, you're the real creators of Riz.
Creators of Riz. So do you get that a lot? Like the people like I could see him like, damn, he's full of himself calling himself Riz. But
I haven't gotten that, but now that it's become like such a pop culture term, I almost feel like I have to like say like, no, I didn't give myself this nickname. Like this has been like for like a long time before this. And it's funny when we'll be at shows, whether it's ICAST or the Classic or whatever, and somebody will say Rich, and like a person I'm talking to be like, wait, your name's Rich?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's
like
that guy?
yeah. So
Dude, I think you need to embrace it. On the Toyotas this year, the whole boat wrap needs to just Riz.
Just Riz
Right down the side of the boat, man. I think that's got to be it.
Oh man,
I like it. Well,
That's so funny.
we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
Bashy, Riz.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
glad
no.
we have so much Riz here. Thankful because I don't have it. So
you got it, Pete.
He's
You
got to
got
bring
it. You got it.
Pete, you're charming.
I do what I can, Josh. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'll take that all day long. But there's so much going on. I want to give a shout out. I'm going to do a little show and tell. We're going to be talking about what goals are for 2024. But shout out to James Riley. He always hooks me up with the greatest Christmas presents.
Ooh,
And this year did not
can see that.
disappoint. And I'm gonna roll out this replica Sly Guy gill.
that looks exactly like a bluegill.
And this is really spectacular. And I'm gonna get it up there and try to
It looks good on there.
get the gloss off of it. But this is one of the most realistic glide baits. It's gill colored, and I haven't thrown it yet. I'm a little nervous to throw it.
Yeah.
Might lose it.
I know. Oh my gosh, I'm going swimming. I'll be going swimming in January to get this.
Yeah.
But it's a jointed, glide bait. So I'm looking forward to getting after it with this tool. But thank you. That's just amazing. This is a Sly Guy glide.
Man,
That
thing looks exactly like a bluegill.
It's very cool. This is another one. This is interesting because in last year's Bassmaster Open on Thousand Islands, I fished with a guy from Japan, and he's working here in the States, but he had all these Japanese style baits, and this is one of them that he had rigged up on our trip. And I can't. What do they call this? Grass. This is called a grass piece. Vibrating jig, but it's different, right? It's got this little arm, and it's got this vibrating, chatterbait style blade, and very, very unique, beautiful, realistic looking head, and just really high end stuff. Interesting. Haven't put this in the water yet, but this has got to have a unique vibration, and the guys are raving about its ability to trigger strike. So very cool little, neat little bait. And one other gift that I got from Jake this year is one of these guys, the fuzzy cube. The dice. And this is really cool. A lot of you guys have seen it with the Japanese guys,
Koyo Fujita,
throwing this up at Lake Champlain and various other places. I don't know why a bass would eat a plastic cube with some, jig skirts sticking out of it, but
They do.
Apparently they do. And I'm going to pass this over to Jocelyn. Smell that, Josh. What's it smell like?
Squid?
That's disgusting.
It's not disgusting.
That's disgusting.
I'm going to get a hit of that. I'm going to get a hit. Oh, yeah.
Ew, what is that?
Wow.
You usually need to smell that again.
Wow.
You can't identify that?
No, that
Wow.
was awful. It was
Almost
like
smells like-
garlic or
wow.
something.
It smells like popcorn.
Yeah.
No, that
wow.
does not smell like popcorn. I can promise you that.
Try
No,
to
I can promise you that's not popcorn.
That's like the old popcorn that was in the tin, and you left it in there for 3 months to break it out.
That
Oh,
smells
wow.
like 3 years.
But it's fun. It's funny. A lot of the baits do have that smell. They're all about the scent, and this is a interesting scent
Mhm.
that comes in those baits. So, thank you, Jake. Thank you, James Riley, for great gifts, and I appreciate that.
It says non-salt. 'Cause
Well,
popcorn.
they have non-salt. They have salt. It's like they have all different types of. One has scent. One has non-salt. One is salt. I don't know. I got to dive into it a little bit, but I think that all has to do with the sink rate, right?
Yeah.
So they want ones that sink slower, ones that are a little bit more aggressive.
It smells like popcorn, you're saying?
Here it is.
Yeah, let me get a whiff of that puppy.
All baits need salt.
Well, it's gone.
You're gonna have to go back there and get the here. This is the most amazing thing of because the price point on some of these baits is crazy. What do you think a pack of those fuzzy cubes cost? There's 4 or 5 of them in there.
I'm gonna go $14.99.
$25.
Wow.
$25 for those little cubes, and I threw it into the abyss, Justin. You may have, the whole show's gonna get shut down when you trip over a wire up there.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a good year. 2023 was the year, honestly, of forward-facing sonar.
Mhm.
It continued to dominate. Want to give a big shout out if you guys didn't see our top 10 show. Our number one viewed seminar last year was Keith Combs, which does it smell like popcorn to you?
Yeah, it smells like Smells like some popcorn.
Yeah, it smells like popcorn. Yeah, Jocelyn must hate popcorn.
Yeah.
I love popcorn,
You
and
should
that is
start-
not
You should
popcorn.
start putting them in your coffee in the morning.
Oh.
Maybe I should.
Wake up, eat a fuzzy cube.
Let's give it a go. I can't wait to give him a try. To be honest with you, Jake is fired up. He can't wait to get out and try them.
That's awesome.
But Brian Schmidt, his forward-facing sonar seminar. So we had an offshore piece from Keith Combs and another offshore seminar from Brian Schmidt, which came in at number 2. And two great instructors, just super talented champion anglers, sharing their strategies and techniques on how they're using that gear. That's number 1, number 2. So if subscribers, get over there and watch those two. Where can they see a list of the top 10? Did we put that out on social?
Yeah, the top 10 clips all went out on social.
Okay.
Yeah, we
From
rolled them out
10.
last show too.
Yeah, and we rolled them on the last show, so you can watch them on the show or head over to our social channels, and they're on there.
We might. I want to put that out in the newsletter.
Sounds
We
good.
got to remember to make it easy for guys to just click and find the top 10 most viewed seminars from 2023.
Sounds good to
I
me.
wonder what 2024 is going to bring.
I think Pete Glusak might be coming in at number 1 next year.
Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking.
You think so?
Hey,
Which one?
I think maybe one that hasn't been filmed yet.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm
Makes
thinking for
sense.
the future. Maybe a fuzzy cube seminar. If you get good with that
Could
thing.
be.
Speaking of the fuzzy cube, Howie wants to know, does it taste like chicken? I'm gonna let Rich or Pete tell you that.
Howie for Venmo of $10. I'll test that out on camera for you.
Yeah, I'm not tasting that anytime.
I
soon.
mean, Rich is the one that likes to taste weird things. The quail eggs from a
Mhm.
gas station.
yep,
So
yep.
your turn.
I
Go
might
ahead.
not be able to process this as well. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate being with us, Howie. Happy New Year, Howie. It's always good to have you with us, buddy. And we're talking about Howie. What's your New Year's resolution? I want to know that. I want to know what you guys are taking on this year. Let us know, and let's go around this room and see what we plan on. Now, let's start out with our most avid angler, Jocelyn, and and we always bust her chops because she's she wants to catch a bass, and she works so hard behind the scenes, guys. Takes care of everything. You get prizes, you get all this stuff. It's Jocelyn doing it and handling so much for us here at Bass U. But that allows us to fish more.
Yeah.
So we
yeah,
haven't got you on the water. I tried twice
know.
last year.
You did.
We're gonna get you out there this year. But what's your
I'm gonna
fishing
catch
resolution?
a bass
Yes.
in Texas, and
Bass in
I'll be part
Texas.
of the Share Lunker program.
outstanding?
Yeah.
Right now.
Going big time.
You're going right for the share. That's 13 pounds.
I thought it was
Jeez.
8,
8, you get
That's true.
you get
That's
recognition.
True. That's true.
and I heard in Texas they're all over.
It might as well just be a
Jumping in the boat.
13-pounder at this
Yeah.
point. Just
A 13-pounder.
Yeah,
just
just-
aim,
Check the whole thing off
yeah,
the
just-
box.
Just
get
go
it
for
Alright.
over with. One
and
fish
then
in.
I'll just walk away and never
Yeah,
fish again.
it's fine.
Sounds good.
we have such a big class in Texas, and we can't wait to see everybody there. Get your tickets. That is, I can't imagine they're going to be long. What do we have? 20 tickets left?
Yeah, there's not many.
There's 20. We have 20 seats left in Texas. So get your ticket. And then we're doing something really cool. We're going to have a Bass U meetup, and we've sent an email out to you guys. Check it out. We're going fishing at Lake Athens. That's what she's talking about. We're going to go have some fun, catch some fish with people that come to class, and come and join us. We're going to have some prizes, Texas barbecue, some fun stuff going on.
Depends on how cold it is for me, though.
You're
I
going.
might be sitting having mimosas instead.
Yeah. Well, it was miserable last time we did it. We're hoping for better weather this year.
Yes.
So let's get you a bass in Texas. I like it.
Dan Allen said she's gonna do a rod drop. You're right, like a mic drop, but a
Yeah.
rod drop.
right?
So I'm
That
gonna
would
do.
be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Jack,
I'm
an
done.
8-pounder, boat flip them.
Yep.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Mission
Drop me off at the bar.
Take me to the bar.
Take me to the mimosas.
I'm ready.
Yep, we will have them on the shores of Lake Athens. What's the name of that restaurant? You remember?
Don't recall the name.
That's right.
Lakeside, maybe.
That would be the right name.
Yep.
It certainly is.
Lakeside Big Bass Cafe.
Yeah. Well, all right. That's a great one.
That's mine.
That's terrific. I appreciate that. Justin, you are, man, we're signed up. We're doing, guys, if you haven't checked this out, by the way, we are doing the Bash University tour, Toyota tour this year, where we're going to be participating, Justin, Rich, and myself, in the 3 tournaments in the Northeast Division. It's very cool. I'm excited about it. We've got a lot going on there that we're going to be talking about, keeping you guys up to date on how we're preparing and how things are going as we get ready to embark on our big tour. But Justin, you're going to be with us. You're going to be fishing in the co-angler side of things.
Yes, sir.
You're a very avid angler. I mean, you've been at this tournament fishing since high school and college. And what are your goals for this year?
I think my number one deal is going to be improving my finesse game a little bit. Little free rig action, throwing a Nico more, Dean's rig more, stuff like that. I think that's I kind of got away from that a little bit this year. I'm going to try and have a few more spinning rods out on the deck, and that's what wins tournaments.
I think Tracy and Dan, who were rooting for you on the Bash U challenges, are all for this new change.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
because if you didn't get to watch the live, he took on Riz a couple. He locks that jig in his hand, and he just didn't put it down.
Yeah, that was more fun fishing. I'm in those scenarios, I'll be keeping the jig in my hand. But when we're fishing the Toyotas and stuff, I'm gonna definitely try and incorporate the finesse game some more. And I think another resolution for me is to, not be as clumsy in the boat, not falling, trying to get the net for Riz, and just not dropping my stuff down the boat ramp on Lake Champlain. Just got to clean up a couple things this year. That's my big thing.
That's awesome.
Justin, you're one of the most organized people I've ever met.
I am, but
sometimes to a fault.
Sometimes, yeah, exactly.
That bag just could not handle the organization of that lunch.
No, it
that paper bag
could
not withstand it.
A little bit of adversity that I overcame. It was as simple as that. So, hopefully no spinning rods are breaking, no reels are breaking on St. Lawrence River. I'm not hand lining in smallmouth this year. That's the goal. I'm going to have my tackle. I'm going to be dialed in.
That's great. It's great to hear. I think, have you considered adding truck backing up skills as to avoid landscaping?
Yeah, that was going to be third on my list.
Windshield braking.
Yeah, so I've been taking a couple courses on backing in the truck and knowing my surroundings so I don't hit my boss's landscaping. So that's also it seems like I'm very uncoordinated and clumsy at times, so I need to clean that up in 2024. I think that is my
goal.
number one.
I like
number one goal.
I think we all could use that.
Yes.
That help a little bit. Have you did you get stuck having to back down boats and park trailers? Are you comfortable doing that as a co? I know a lot of co's that I get paired up with. It's like the worst nightmare is if they get hit with in the middle of a 200 boat tournament having to back down the trailer and park it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable doing it now, but I don't know. I mean, I'm backing in the rocks and stuff with no boat on the back, so I don't know. I always tell my boaters, like during the BFLs and stuff, like, listen, if you want me to back down the boat, I will, but or back down the trailer, but I'll load your boat for you. If whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. I'll figure out a way.
Good. That's good. That's good. Practice. You got to get comfortable in that spot. It's a lot of pressure, Rich.
Yeah.
When you're backing that stuff down, everybody's looking at you, get jammed up, and guys get frustrated.
For me, it's just like unfamiliarity with like the vehicle. Like you get in some guy's truck and the seat, my knees are hitting the dash, and then
or they have a cap and you can't see
and
through
I can't
the mirror
see out the back. So it's like, if you want to get the truck, I'll load the boat, no problem. But
all right,
hold on.
All right. Well, those are good resolutions. Good luck, and I think you're going to do great at them all. But I love the finesse stuff, and obviously we've got Aaron Martins, we've got Jay Shakurit. So you got a lot of great content to study there to up your finesse game at Bash U. So good luck with that. And I think that's going to go well. How about you, Riz?
Yeah, I broke mine down into like small, medium, large as far as like the goals, like as far as I guess attainability or challenge. First one is for this year is to continue with preparation, being more prepared for tournaments. As far as the controllables that I can control, like my gear, my tackle, being organized is going to be a big thing for this year. When we go to not so much the Potomac, that'll be a grass fisher. I'm pretty comfortable in that. But when we go up to Champlain and when we go up to the St. Lawrence River, like, I have to be ready to attack some things that I probably haven't seen, or I haven't seen as much, being from where we live. So, just preparation across the board, from having my tackle organized in cahoots with my boat and my truck. Like all three of those things, I want to make sure that they are ready to go. I'm not having to worry about them on the water. Just really, really, make sure that I'm ready to fish before I go to fish. And
that's so important.
Yeah.
I mean, so much is going on in those tournaments. You got to find a crawl lure that you want.
Right.
You got to be able to put your hands on it.
Got to know where it is. And, I think that some of the time you spend on that part of things, it gets overlooked a lot. Like, well, I'll make up for it because I'm going to practice so much and I'm going to figure them out so good that it's not going to matter. Mm-hmm. But really, they they go hand in hand with each other. Like the preseason to this time, like I consider this time of year like the preseason, right? Like some guys fish all throughout the winter, and I've definitely fished in the winter in the past, but this time of year, it's like, well, I can either be spending some time on the water, or I can be spending some time making sure that everything's ready to go and in line for when we get rolling, because once we get back from the classic, pretty much it's go. Tournament season really gets going around us, and then we start traveling for the Toyotas, and we have work trips all in between. So there's not going to be time to, reorganize along the way as much. It's got to be kind of ready to go beforehand.
And it just allows you to practice freely, and it allows you to practice more aggressively.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get off the water to handle it. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta, I'm on a drop shot bite. I got to get my gear together. Just allows you to put more time on the water.
Yeah.
Great thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could, everybody could always work at organization.
Right.
Except for Travis Manson.
Yeah. Some guys, it comes naturally to them, just
like Greg DePalma.
Yeah. Like DePalma.
Yeah.
And
I'm so envious of those guys.
Yeah. But, for me, I got to work at that. Like I have to make conscious decisions and really go at it. And even when I do put a lot of effort into it, my organization still can't even wave a stick at the guys that it just comes naturally to. But
who pisses me off? the guys that get done practice. It's the day before the tournament, and they're coming in to put their boat on the trailer, and their rod lockers are closed. There's no rods on the deck. There's nothing out, and they're going to dinner. Because they're done.
Yeah.
Like they're completely organized and ready to fish the next day.
I feel like that's a Justin.
That would be me 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I'll have 15 rods out, lures everywhere, scrambling, trying to figure out the pattern. And they're so relaxed. They're going to dinner. They're going to go home, sleep, and I'll be up till 11 o'clock, retying.
Right.
I don't know how they live in that world, but I admire it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I guess the first thing is like, that's a controllable. I can easily control that. I can make sure that happens. And then the second resolution would be fish efficiently. And that means like from practice all the way through tournaments. Like I hate the feeling in a tournament where I'm like, why am I doing this? This is dumb. Like, because that will happen to you as a tournament fisherman. It's like you'll realize like, oh my gosh, I've just wasted the last hour and a half of either my practice or my tournament day. Why did I just try to push my boat over a sandbar to get into a creek where there's no water anyway? Right? Like that's not efficiency. Like that's That's
Yeah.
time wasted that you're not going to spend either finding fish or catching fish or whatever. So the second one is to just feel like I'm always I feel like I'm putting myself in a good position to succeed. And that's a lot easier said than done, right? Like it's hard to keep yourself in that mindset. But I feel like the preparation of everything gives you that ability to stay in that efficiency window when you're on the water, whether it's practice or the tournament. So
Well, that's great. That's a great goal. I love those two.
yeah.
What's number 3?
And then number 3 is you gotta set the bar high, right? Shoot for the stars or shoot for the moon. If you don't land on the moon, you'll land among the stars, whatever. Number 3 is win a Toyota Series. And
Heck yeah.
honestly, I don't know which one of the 3 it could be. And you know, I've never gone to the Potomac or Champlain or the St. Lawrence and had a 3 to 4 day dedicated practice period. It's always been a day, maybe a day and a half of like, okay, let's go see a little bit of what we can find and then just go out and fish. And, you know, this year with having dedicated practice time, everything's all lined up already. We have our housing, we have our lodging, all that stuff. Yeah, it's win a Toyota, you know, and,
That's an awesome goal.
So yeah,
I like that goal. It's I didn't put that on my list as things, and I'm you know, because I looked at this from the perspective of what I'm going to do to train, but that's a great goal to have, and I think you got the chops to do it, and you've proven it by winning a multi-day tournament at the BFLs that was here close to home, and I'm looking forward to fishing with you.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to fishing with both you guys. It's going to be a fun journey, man. I mean, the cool thing about these events is whether we do good or we do bad, it's going to be 5 straight days on the water at the minimum.
Yeah.
And I think I'm looking forward to that the most. It's just
Oh,
really,
I'm not.
really embracing that grind of like, all right, this is my next 5 days of this. This is what I got to commit to. It's all I got to think about. Let's go.
I know. Poor Jocelyn. We have 3/4 of the office is going to be at a tournament for a week, 3 times this year. So we have to get everything
Josh,
managed.
New Year's resolution for you. Take more trips out of the country. you got to get your travel in too.
Absolutely.
Well, if you insist.
Yeah. Spain, Italy.
All over.
You've been doing a lot of traveling this year. Keep it going.
I am.
Pete?
Well, I mean, my resolution is one that I continue to work on, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Is I want to continue to develop my my forward-facing sonar chops, and there's different modes of forward-facing sonar that I want to play around with more this year, which is landscape mode and down mode for for Mega Live. I'm interested in working with those systems and seeing what I can do, in particular in the shallow water, which is where I like to spend a lot of my time. And I want to. I'm learning from the other guys that are already ahead of me in this game and out doing it on the elites and major league fishing. And I want to advance that component of it. And I got to do some old man rigging this year. That's kind of what I'm calling it, because I want to get that unit up close to where I can see it a little bit better. And there's so many advances in the pedestal technology to be able to get those units higher and closer, so I can see, I can see the fish, the habitat, the movements a lot better. So I'm going to spend my time, just having fun learning those techniques. With all the new, we just watched, Brian Schmidt with the shake technique that he uses for forward face. There's so many different techniques and strategies this year. One of the things I really liked was how the guys were using 3/4 ounce jigs and bigger baits, bigger tools to catch fish that way. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get my boat re-rigged this year and get after some of these things. Really excited about these tournaments on Thousand Islands, Potomac River, Lake Champlain, 3 of my favorite places in the world. And going to have a lot of fun fishing with you guys and taking you guys with us on the ride too. So
I'm pumped.
That's my big goal, you know.
I'm thinking there might be maybe a couple boats won out of this group here. Hey, you gotta be confident, you know.
No doubt.
I'm just excited to learn from you guys, putting in time on the water with you guys, and I look at it as, you know, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But I'm excited.
Well, you had a nice tournament on Thousand Islands.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but not good
year.
enough. You know, we got to finish those out.
You gotta close them out. It's closing out a fishing tournament's the hardest thing to do in the world. But
nobody remembers the 3rd place finisher. That's all I'll say.
We're
Gotta get that win next time.
gonna have fun doing it. And it's the bodies of water are so good, and the fish will be biting everywhere we go, and it's it's going to be a good time. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we'll keep you guys posted. From everything from our housing and to getting our stuff rigged to how the tournaments are going, the thrill of victory. Hopefully, we see that, and the agony of defeat, and I'm sure that's going to be part of it, and we're going to try to stay in the boat as much as possible.
Yep.
This year. We'll keep you guys posted and take you along for the ride. Did we have any New Year's resolutions that
We did have a few.
show up there? What are the other guys?
Dan Vaughn said, my resolution is to learn Santee Cooper and Lake Mary. I'm finally done building my boat.
I
All
want to
right.
fish Santee Cooper so bad.
It is like dinosaur land.
Yeah.
I
Dinosaur.
love that place. I haven't been there for too long, and I love that one. And Jeff lives so close enough to it, like a
right.
few hours away.
Yeah,
You know, we need to get down there and do that.
for sure. There's a couple more people saying just, you know, to fish more, and that's the resolution.
That's
Get
a
on the
great
water
resolution.
more. And
Yeah. I mean, we can get so tied up and working hard and everything else we got to do. We got to remember to get out.
Yeah.
That's got to be the best resolution
Heck
that
yeah.
I've heard.
Time
man.
on the water.
Heck yeah. I like that a lot. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back. We got John Soukup coming on, and he's just battled the Bassmaster Elites, the best in the world, for a year. Man, let's see how that went. The good, the bad, what his goals and strategies for next year and sophomore season are going to be. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Mr. Soukup.
Aquaview, the leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. Aquaview. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love catching fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That are made right here in North Carolina in the USA. Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick. Every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out doing a tournament.
Durability in the John Cruz Worming series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
On the water, not spent fishing, is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together. The One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically, They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
Cortland Line Master Braid, America's premium super braided fishing line. Manufactured in our Cortland, New York facility and constructed from the highest quality Spectra fibers available. Cortland Line Company, made in America since 1915.
I have to have the best eyewear.
My eyes are essential to doing my job.
It's the highest quality lens that I've ever used.
Top of the line performance in these glasses.
But they're priced for absolutely everyone. The everyday angler can afford them.
As a touring professional pro, if I can depend on them, I know the weekend angler can as well. Hobie eyewear, built for the pros.
Price for everyone.
Welcome back to Bash You Live, everybody. It's going to be a good year. 2024 is going to be a good year.
I think it's going to be a really good year. I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful too. And
It's Kobe year.
It's Kobe year.
Kobe year.
Does that
Last
mean-
year was Jordan year.
Ah,
Yeah.
Is that maybe that means Ben Milliken wins an Elite Series tournament?
Could happen.
that could happen.
Means Bash U's gonna get 6 titles.
6 titles. I'll take it. I'll take it. We only have 3 titles on the line for us this year, but maybe we'll take all 3. Let's just wipe it out, you know?
Yep.
But actually we do have 6 because Justin's going to win the co-side on all 3. And then
we got
you and I'll flip the coin.
We got 3 Toyotas, we got a co, and we have an Ike Foundation. We have 3 Toyotas, we got a co, we got an Ike Foundation, and we got a I don't know, something else. We'll get to 6.
You'll find some.
Well, what else we got is we got John Sooka with us, coming off his freshman season on the Elites, and friend of the show. He's been with us a lot. John, how are you, buddy? Happy New Year.
Man, I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great. Happy New Year.
Happy. We were talking pre-show. What, you just went out and caught like 8-pounders? What do you got going on over there?
Yeah, man. I ended the year with a guy named Brandon Burks reached out to me. He's catching some giants down in Texas, Burks Fishing, and asked me if I'd like to come on a trip with him. And so we did a little trade where he went out and took us out for a couple days. He's been on some really giant fish, and in turn we kind of shot some media stuff for him to help him out, for his own promotion stuff. So we did a little bartering. We did a little bartering fishing system there. Made a new friend. And I mean, the guy put me on. He put me on giants, man. I think I set the hook 5 times, and everything that I caught was over 8 pounds.
Holy!
There
smoke.
you go. Yeah, that's one of the babies.
What was did you have a double-digit bass by any chance?
We did. We caught one that was 10.5. I caught one that was like 9.5. Was my biggest. I had 9.5 and 8.15. And then the rest were like just 8s, just low 8s. So
just low 8s.
Little baby.
Yeah.
So you're down in Texas somewhere? Where are you?
I was down in Texas. I was down. Listen, if anybody's interested, they gotta look up Burks Fishing. It's really a situation where it's an undisclosed lake, a little honey hole that he's discovered, and I don't know how long it's gonna last for before the flies get over there and start, beating it up. But it's a different fishery than where everybody else is fishing. It's a unique deal. Anybody that's wanting to do the wintertime live scoping deal, it's pretty special, man. It's been a long time since I've been able to get in a boat with somebody, and like I intentionally did this. I just drove down there in my car. I didn't bring any of my own stuff or anything. It was just like I had that peace of mind experience where it's like, I'm just gonna go fun fishing. I'm just going for fun and like do a little end of the year reset. So we ended on the 31st catching the giants, and then the next day we went out 2 days. Yesterday we fished and caught giants, and then we drove home. I got home at like 3 a.m. last night, so just enough time to get some sleep and get on with you guys and like post my brag board with you. A little bit.
That's awesome. How close is this to Athens, Texas?
Well, I would say it's more towards the other side of the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looked like some muddy water you were fishing.
It's unique, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
a unique situation to be, wintertime fishing. I've always spent the majority of my time, if I'm in the wintertime, I'm looking more for clear water because those fish tend to feed more by sight than by feel a lot of times. But I think I got proven wrong a little bit. It was pretty cool, and it expanded my horizons a lot, actually. So when he actually reached out to me, that was the most exciting part about the whole trip for me. Was he was sending me pictures of muddy waters. Like, okay, I want to see what's going on. You know what I mean? I want to see how this is getting done in dirty water, in the cold, dirty water.
Well,
how cold are we talking?
Yeah.
What was the temp?
49. 49 was the temp. I think it was 28, 30 degrees or something one morning. So it was falling. The temperature was falling.
Right.
But in Oklahoma, our water is going to be in the lower 40s.
Right.
So it's not as low, but still, still neat.
Yeah, situationally, like for Texas, 49 that's kind of getting to the cold side, right?
Yep, turning winter for sure.
Yeah.
What is it? Why is it muddy, John? Is it muddy because of fresh runoff, or is it just consistently a muddy body of water?
Well, I mean, I think that you got that part of the world's got a lot of iron in the soil, and so just you get churned up by the wind and whatnot.
Okay.
So it's going to be consistently muddy. But I mean, any water can turn clean, if you got some kind of drought or something. So I don't know the body of water enough to know whether it ever turns clean. I know now it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, I've been in Texas with fresh early runoff where it's a clean body of water that goes muddy and cold, and it's an impossible condition. So, I'm thinking this must be probably a normal condition that water just has a lot of turbidity and stain to it. I'm just guessing but if he's figured out a way to catch them in fresh, clean mud runoff, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But you guys were catching them on forward-facing sonar with the off-colored stuff. Are you changing your baits? Was it like something bigger, flashier, or louder, or what were the baits you were using?
So, man, we're mainly targeting. He's developed a 3/4 ounce jig that he calls his dialed series. I think it's like a spit and image jig or something like that. And I will tell you this: it's nothing that it's not really a presentation that I don't already know. It's just a matter of getting reps, and getting reps with somebody that's confidently been doing it every day. I mean, if you follow this guy's Facebook, Burke's Fishing, he's catching double digits every day. Every day he's dropping double digits. I think he's caught 100 in the last 4 months. 100 double digits in 4 months. He's got some clients that have caught 12s. He's caught a 13. So, they're not in the high teens. They're not catching the 15, 16, 17 pounders. But I think it's probably just a matter of time with the amount that he's catching. Like I said, he's not sponsored. This is not paid. This is a part of one of my resolutions for this year is having more fun in fishing and get away from the politics of fishing. And what I'm talking about because you're paid. You're a paid man. You're bought and sold. No, I'm just kidding with you. But I mean, in some ways, you feel that way, right? You kind of are. You got to be loyal when people are helping you put food on the table. And this isn't one of those things. This is just he's a younger guy that's got a guide service, and he was kind enough to reach out to me and spend his New Year's with me, taking me out catching big fish. So if I can show him some love in return, but yeah, they've got a little that jig that they're throwing. It's more about presentation than anything. Rate of fall, it's a lot more like crappie fishing. How you're feathering it over a fish or into the fish and knowing which direction the fish is swimming, and a lot of things that are more on the advanced forward-facing sonar style. He uses active target, and I'm a Garmin guy. I'm a live scoop guy, so that was also different. Instead of trying to go out with my own equipment and be like, well, mine's better equipment than yours, I just went out and shut up and listened and watched how he uses his, and after a little bit of time, I could read the things he was reading on his units, and it was fun that way. It was refreshing, man. It was like knocking a little rust off.
I like it. I like what you said, other than your insult about me being bought. I want to put more fun in fishing every single year that goes by, and I get invited everywhere we go. Like, hey, Pete, come on down to the Everglades and fish with us. Come to Santee. You always get these invites, and I've got a little man. He's 14, and got Bash U business going all the time. So it's really hard for me to just get away and go fishing, and man, I really like that. That's got to be a big goal of mine in 2024. I'm going to steal that from you and join you in that effort. By the way, John, I want to give you props too, because I use a line that you taught us through your work at Bash U that I think is one of the most important mantras to be using in fishing, and it's never take practice out of your tournament. I don't know if I think I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if I said it exactly the way you said it, but that's the gist. And I think it's such a powerful weapon that people, they practice and then they go fish the tournament and they only fish where they practiced, and they don't keep developing. They don't keep adjusting to conditions, and they don't keep practicing during the tournament. But I think that's a brilliant mantra. Thank you for that.
Well, thanks for reminding me about that, man. Because what's so weird about fishing is when you're on the top of your game and things are just like clicking and clicking and clicking, those things are easy to know. Like your insides are telling you how to behave, and then when you start slipping a little bit, you start forgetting what you know and start acting like you start fishing like more like the amateur John than the pro John. And those are some of the things that I need reminded on, that I've been kind of mentally evaluating my 2023 season to find out, hey, why wasn't I as successful as I was in previous years? And that's actually that's one of the things on my hit list of bringing that back into my game. And there's a free mindset that's involved with that takes it takes some confidence, right? Like, you have to have confidence in your ability to fish the moment and to find the fish, versus, hey, I'm going to do steps 1 through 10 and I'm not veering from these things because I caught this fish on this stump, and so I'm going to sit here all day and try to catch a fish on the stump. That's how old men die in bass tournaments, right there.
That's a fact. And by having that mentality, it puts you in a situation to capitalize on something special, something magical that that you can only find by fishing free. Because fish are changing. They're not going to keep doing the same thing every day. They're constantly in flux. And then you add, now you don't have to deal with it as much now, but when you have a 200-man field, you have tremendous fishing pressure. You just got to keep your options open. You got to keep thinking is really what it comes down to. You got to just keep that open mind and be confident and bold enough to investigate new water, new ideas, new patterns, even when the big money's on the line. I think that's the greatest piece of advice, and phrased as good as anybody that's ever taught at Bash U. So I want to, I appreciate that. Now, I know, like you said, maybe you didn't have the year you wanted on the elites. It was, it's a very, very tough tournament trail. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of things going on out there. What'd you do good, and what do you need to do better for this upcoming season?
Well, I'd say that I was a good sore loser, but that's probably not even factual either. So, oh man, I had a tremendous crash of a season, man. So I had to really take stock towards the end of the year, figuring out how to get this train back on the track for next year, because I don't really want to be done with the elites. I don't want to spend all this time to qualify for the elites and be a one and done, 2 years and out guy. And so that's one of the reasons why I went and jumped in the last 4 or 5 opens, and I did fish against the 200 boat fields, was to kind of reestablish myself in my mindset, not to anybody else, just in my heart and my mindset and get kind of reestablished with what I was doing differently and to evaluate my rights and my wrongs. Now, at the same point, you don't ever want to just so overcorrect, right? That you just go off the rails. There's such fine lines mentally, emotionally, that are adjustments that I need to make. It has zero to do with mechanics for me. Zero to do with mechanics. I mean, I feel like I can close my eyes and flip and feel, and I know what I'm feeling. I mean, I've done that for so long. It's everything about a positive mentality, staying focused on the fish, making sure my life's right outside of on the water. There's a lot of things there that I'm working on. I haven't got to fish very much this off season because I'm digging real deep, building a new company, building a brand, make sure my finances, make sure all that stuff's in order. And so that way, when I get on the water, I can focus 100% on the fish.
So much of this, all sports, is between the ears. You know what I mean? It's such a mental game, and I appreciate that. I always fish better like you when I got everything in order. And I know other people that fish well in chaos, but I was never that guy. It's got to be tight for me to be successful. Now you explain to me how it works, because I'm not sure I know the rules. Like you have 2 years, and I guess they take a 2-year average, and if you fail, you got to finish in a certain position in order to continue. Is it always that way, a revolving 2-year average?
So about half of what you said is accurate. So I'll take a step back. The first year, and so this is exactly the situation I'm in, right? This is how I've got to prepare for myself. This affects everything that I'm doing. The very first year is free in that you can't get kicked off the elites for having 100th place AOY like I did. All right. So now, with that being said, it still counts in your overall average for your career average. It's not like they throw that out because it was your first year and it was bad. So it starts counting against you in year 2. At the end of year 2, so anybody that's fished 2 years to 20 years, right? Anybody that's in that range, if you finish in 70th place or above, so last year it was Frank Talley that finished 70th. His is safe. You made it in safe. You're not going to get judged off of your career average. So everyone from 71st down to that 100th place position, then they get judged off their career average, and for every 5 years, you drop a low score. So some of these guys I'm thinking about that have had some recent years that haven't been good, maybe like a Keith Combs, who had some tremendous season. If you go back 10, 15 years with him, you got top 10 AOIs or whatever. And then recently he's had a couple bad ones. Well, those kind of get washed out because for every 5 years he gets to drop a score. So out of that 71st to 100th place finish, they do the career average, and then the bottom 10 with the career average, they're the ones getting cut. That's how you get cut.
Wow.
So with that being said, if I
got to finish over 70th.
I had next season I had to finish over 70th, and if I want to start getting out of that same rut, I better finish a lot higher than 70th, so I'm not having to worry about it probably for the next, unless I finish first place next year in the AOI, probably for the next 3 or 4 years until I can get that first year score off, I'm going to have to be finishing above 70th. Yep, I can't have another bad year.
That's okay. I understand. I didn't know it's funny. We've been following this for so long. I really didn't understand how that works.
It is truly it's
pressure.
There's so much pressure, and not enough gets said for just being able to keep the longevity of a career in the Elite Series. It's freaking hard to stay.
You stub your toe.
Yeah,
and you got to go back through requalifying.
in those first 5 years, man. If you have a tough one, it's hard to shake that. It's really hard to shake that off. It's impressive, man, for the guys that can stay on it for as long as they have.
with the addition,
Yeah.
John, of these new open guys that are killing it. So you know every year you got a new group of studs that are coming in to you know increase that pressure even more.
Yeah, are you guys statistical guys? Are you fans of stats?
Yeah, bring it.
Yeah. I was
I'm an
such a
engineering
stat
background. I love stats.
Are you?
Yes.
So I would be an engineer, except for I dropped out of school. So other than that, I just have engineered my way through life. But so when I was a kid, I'd play, Nintendo, right? And back before the games that actually save and have standings and things of that nature and stats, there was a basketball game. I don't even remember what it was. I don't know Michael Jordan was on it, but I'd play it. And at the very end of the game, I'd pause it. And then I'd write down all the stats. And then because the next game over, it didn't have season. You could play a season, but it didn't have season stats. And so I had my little book. And then at the end of the season, I'd flip over. And I had it to where like I had 10 seasons and be like, season 3, man, I scored 35 points again. You know what I mean? So I've always been a stats nerd. I love stats. It's actually numbers are kind of a way of how I function through life because I can't spell to save my life. But with that being said, I use stats a lot when
we're still here, John.
Keep going. We're
okay. Lost our video for a moment.
New Year's resolution camera.
New camera in the studio. That's it.
I even use stats when I'm approaching a new body of water, which you can ask me about after this point. But with that being said, I finished 100th, and so at the end of the season, I'm like, okay, it's time to evaluate. I usually evaluate every event, but this year I wasn't in a good place mentally, so I did at the end of the season, and I evaluated that I needed to score 20 more points per event to be at that 70th place finish line. Okay. So that's pretty significant amount of points between 100th and 70th, right? 20 per event, not just 20 in general. And then I look back and I was like, I had 3 events that I was 1 pound away from the 50 cut, and I had 3 that I was around, the 2 or 3 that I was around the 3 pound cut, between 2 to 4 pounds away from that 50 cut. And if I had done that, which is almost just 1 fish per event, if I would have had those fish, I would have made it to that. Those 20 points would have been there. So I was like, okay, that's a pretty fine line. But even more so, I was like, you know what? I wonder what the difference between 40th place and 70th place is. So 70th place, 1 point below, I'm getting cut from the elites next year. 40th place or above, I'm making a classic, right? And this is to your point about the competition that's coming in. All right, this is what, to your point of what I'm talking about here, is the Bassmaster Elites is becoming more like NASCAR, where the winners, everybody's hyped up on the winners, and you guys, the guys in the stands are yelling at the guy in the back saying that he sucks. You suck at fishing, you can't compete. And actually, it's just seconds later that you're coming across the finish line. It's becoming tighter and tighter. So do you guys know what the difference between 40th to 70th place is per event? How many points that is? Take a guess.
You mean how many points? Like what?
30, how many points per event? The difference between 30? Is that what your guess is? 30?
Yeah, based on your question. I don't know if I understand your question.
Okay. Actually, so per event, all right, let's say an event you place 50th. So, if you place 25th, there's 25 point gap between you.
Right.
So on average per event, what's the difference between finishing in 70th place or finishing in 40th place?
2 pounds.
Is that what we're talking about? Weight?
Talking about points. Points.
Well, it's 30.
I'm lost too. It's 30 points is the difference between 70 and 40, but I don't think that's what you're
no. No. It's so I'm doing a per event average because I'm breaking it down like how much better do I need to do per event, to the difference between me falling 70th and 40th. And I'll throw it out there and maybe I'll explain it and reverse engineer it when I explain it to you. It's 10 points per event. So if I do 10 points difference per event over 9 events, that's 90 points at the end of the season, right? So there's a 90 point gap or 10 per event difference between
I got you.
Finishing 70th and finishing 40th. And I mean, you guys look at the stats. Like if you go up north, what's 10 points? Sometimes what? A quarter pound?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to get those extra 10 points per event. And so that's why it's so imperative to fish back with the mentality that I used to fish with that helped me, top 10 a couple opens this year at the end of the year, and that's one of my resolutions. One of my quote unquote fishing resolutions is to find as many fish as possible and put myself around as many fish as possible and not do things that would quote unquote be under the swing for the fence category or going for the big ones and things like that. I've always done really well as a fisherman when I was just around as many fish as possible. When I left the dock in the morning, knowing without a shadow of doubt, like there was no one that was going to tell me I'm not going to catch a limit. I'm like, oh, I'm going to catch a limit. And then during that day, I beat up on those things and I start figuring out how to trigger a little bit bigger bite. And then in that moment, I'm like, oh, I got it today. And it may be only 2 or 3 more bites of the day, but now I'm jumping up from catching 2-pounders and now I'm catching 3s. And all of a sudden, boom, I catch a 5. And then day 2, I'm like, okay, I know how to catch the 5s. So I get my limit real quick, and then I spend a little bit more time working on those 4s and 5s. And then by day 3, I'm ready. If I'm in a top 10 situation, I'm like, okay, now we're getting 90% a day after the 5s. And I've tuned in how to catch those bigger fish. But it all sprung from having so much confidence, being around so many fish and getting so many bites. And I mean, that's even how I got the moniker on NPFL, the hookup, is because they said when they went to me, I was always hooked up. And I fish so much more confidently that way when you're setting the hook. And I found myself on the elites several times when my year was going so bad, thinking the only way I'm going to make up for this year is if I win an event. And I made some stupid decisions. Like Sabine, some of the dumbest decisions. I look back and I just mentally wasn't right, man. I really wasn't. I really was not mentally strong enough to be where I was at that time. On the Sabine River, for example, it's one of the best things that I know how to do is just flip grass. I can flip grass all day long. I mean, these guys potentially, if you remember me winning that NPFL on Harris Chain, I can literally fish with my eyes closed and flip grass and compete with anybody that's out there. Sabine's full of that. And in practice, I found 7 pounds a day easily. I mean, you had to grind it out, but I mean, I knew I could catch 6 to 8 pounds a day flipping the grass. So I just stay with it. And I told myself, right, so here's the 2 mentalities. Because I was so behind in the season, do I go ahead and just grind that out, get some points, get a check, maybe come in 40th place? And I told myself, and this is the wrong mentality, I told myself the only thing that's going to turn my season around at this point is if I win. I don't even care about a top 10. So I found 2 locations where I had some 3-pounders found. And I told myself before I left the dock, I'm only fishing those 2 areas because those are the only 2 areas I found with 3-pounders. And I did that, and I come in like 100th place or whatever. I mean, it was the worst. And I did what is uncharacteristic to me. I didn't even walk across a stage on day 2. I had to call and apologize to Bass and to my sponsors. So I was not in the right place, and it was because I was putting this. It's you win or you just go home mentality, and that is not a mentality that is healthy, and it's not a mentality that I function under as well as a fisherman. So taking a step back, putting myself around as many fish as possible. If I had to redo that, I'd go back on that Sabine and I just set the hook 30 times a day. And I'd go from 4.5 to 5.2 pounds to 5.5 pounds to 6 pounds. And I'd come in with 7 pounds, you know what I mean? And I'd get myself a $10,000 check, and I'd have, in that one event, I'd have 50 points difference between that 100 to, you know what I mean? And that is the mentality that when I fished at the end of the season in the opens, I put myself back around that mentality. I went back into my comfort zone, set the hook as much as possible. Don't worry about the fact that Ben Milliken's over here posting 10-pounders on his social media that he's catching in practice. Don't worry about, all these guys, the dock talk. Just go catch as many fish as I know possible and stay in tune with the fish. And all things are going to fall in place.
Yeah, I love that thing because I work with guys and I'm constantly, I love this game. So I'm competing myself. And it's like when you're swinging for the bleachers, a lot of times you strike out, that's the part of that game. And when you're in a slump or you're dealing with some complications like that, you can think that, oh man, I got to make this massive change. When in reality, it's not a massive change that's going to get you the desired result. It's just getting a little better every day, setting the hook a lot of times one more time. When John, and I'm going to share this with you. Maybe it'll help. I don't know, because I've been there. I've been in your seat before. It's competing at the best in the world, and KVD was at the top of his game, and he was the mark for me and everybody else. And what I looked at statistically from him was he found a way to trigger one more bite a day than the rest of us. That's what
a big deal.
That's what I concluded, studying the numbers and looking at the weights, just like you said, the difference in places can be ounces. Like you can get a 8-ounce increase in your weight, and you can jump 10 or 20 spots sometimes, depending on the body of water. And so what I came to the conclusion was, you don't have to just, all of a sudden be the greatest angler in the world and win every tournament. You just need to get a little better every day. And that just rises you like you can't imagine, because the competition is so tight. The points are stacked, and a couple bites here and there can get you well ahead of where you need to be. And that always helped me, recognizing that, all right, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I didn't have to suddenly, catch 10-pounders every cast. I just needed to figure a way to get 1 or 2 more bites a day every single day I competed. And that helped me a lot.
I love it, Pete. So I know you guys did your New Year's resolution. So when you guys were doing that, I didn't have anything wrote down, but I did when you guys had me backstage and I was out there fanboying over the Bash you guys and all you guys stuff. I started writing down some of my resolutions that I have in my heart, but I was like, oh, I'll just put them on paper. I don't really do that very often. And one of the things I got, and I'll just put it right here for you guys to see, that I'm not making this up. Can you see that? Can you guys see that?
Read that to me, Justin. There it is. 1% better daily.
0.1% better
0.1%.
Point one.
Yes.
0.1 times 365 equals 36.5% better.
Yes. I love that.
In
John.
3 years' time.
Yep.
In 3 years' time, I can be twice the man that I am right now. I can be twice the husband. I can be twice the dad. I can be twice the businessman. I can be twice the fisherman. I can be twice the Christian that I am right now. I can be twice who I am now in just 3 years' time by being 0.1% better today than who I was yesterday. And to 100% to your point, I got off the tracks, man. Last year, I got emotionally off the tracks. I got all the excuses in the world. You should hear the list of excuses that I have, and they're real life hard excuses. But listen, man, I'm here on earth. I'm standing. I've got a responsibility to myself, to my sponsors, to my kids, to my wife, to all my friends and family and supporters, to not give up, to never give up, to not be a quitter, to not be an excuse maker, to not look for handouts, and to stand up like a real man should. And that's the opportunity that I'm looking at next year. And I'm ready to take the challenge. I'm tired of hiding from everybody, being disappointed in myself, being embarrassed by my performance, listening to people say that I suck at fishing now, and getting those demons in my head. And that's why I've coined the moniker, man. I'm the underdog of the elites. No one's done as worse as I've done in their year and come back and been a dominating force in the elites. And so I'm going to do something that's statistically unheard of. I'm going to come back, man. I'm going to build myself back. If I'm 0.1% better, 36% better from 100, gets me in that top 70. Maybe I'm not in the Classic next year. Maybe I'm not. But you're going to see me again year 3. And the one thing that I learned this year that was the worst of all worst at the end of the season was I heard from 5 or 6 different sponsors that they're going to have to cut me. They weren't happy with my contact performance. All right. I thought I've done pretty good over the last 4 years, to be honest with you. Do I whine? Do I complain about it? Do I tell everybody about my financial woes and all that stuff? That would be nice. Maybe that would feel good for half a second. But the only thing that's going to fix that is if I have a no excuse attitude. You're never going to hear that from me again. You're never going to hear that about nobody is ever going to speak those words to me or in front of anybody else ever again, because I will become a content machine. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to make a difference. Everybody's going to see me. You're either going to fall in love with me or you're going to be sick of seeing me. One of the two is going to happen. But I'm not. You're never going to hear I didn't do enough again. This year, my resolution is I'm going to do more than anybody else. I'm going to do more than I did before. And it's all for one goal, man. To stay fishing for these stupid little green fish that we're so addicted to.
I love it. I love where your head's at, and it's where it's got to be. And I love that 0.1% better every day. That's what it, that's what it comes down to. And you're up against it with a tough field. You got to count yourself. You got to give yourself credit there. I mean, you're one of the guys. You know what I mean? And you got there. You got the chops. We know it. We've seen it. We've seen all the stuff you did in the opens and the MPFLs. And man, I love where your head's at for this year coming up. Just real quick on the schedule this year. What do you like? What's your, you got one or two that, man, I just can't wait to get to that body of water?
Man, I think that I have not been able to focus more beyond the first two events, the Toledo Bend Lake Fork. They're not that far from me, but I don't have a ton of experience. I have zero bass fishing experience to speak of on Lake Fork. I went there when I was a junior in high school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and when I was 13 years old, my dad took me there for my birthday. Other than that, I don't even know how to operate or get around on Lake Fork. And I haven't been there to pre-practice yet, but it is only like 4.5 hours from my house. I feel like I have, not only am I good at it, I helped pioneer a lot of the techniques that go on in these wintertime bass fishing events. And that's right on the transition from wintertime to pre-spawn. Potentially a crazy warm front, it could be a spawn. So I've got familiarity with the potentials that are there. Now, with that being said, a lot of the guys, have caught up and maybe even surpassed me in some of their abilities when it comes to forward-facing sonar and things of that nature, different techniques and such. But I have a comfort zone level that's there, and I'm super thankful that those are two of the first events and not towards the end, because I'm looking forward to getting off to a better start than what I had last season.
Yeah. That's definitely something that can help you fish a little bit more open and get you going too. Well, that's good. That's exciting. I love those two bodies of water. Starting out in Texas this year is going to be unique. It seemed like the tournaments have always been Florida coming out of the gate. So, getting that Texas thing, that'll be real good. Well,
I'll add one more to you, and I don't know whether I can continue or not. And you don't want to jinx yourself, nothing like that. But my worst national finish on the Harris chain's been like third place. So I've only fished a couple. Well, okay, I fished in 2000, whatever it was, a long time ago, 12 or 13. I fished a Bass Nation National Championship, and I got like 30th there. So that's been. I'm a different fisherman than back then. That was when I was just kind of learning how to compete at that level. But since then, with that, in the last few years, I've won an MPFL and I got third in the open there. So, and I will say it's not a spot situation. It's not a certain lake that I like to fish situation. Somehow certain lakes, you just feel like you're intimate with when you show up. It's like you feel like you're one with the fish, and you follow Oklahoma's that way for me too. And so I am excited to be there and see if I can continue that at this level, at the elite level.
That's there's something about that is really cool. I noticed it over the years. There's certain lakes you put your boat on and you just feel like you're at home, and you feel comfortable right out of the gate, even if you're not having a good practice or whatever. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I have a few bodies of water that I just feel that way about. And unfortunately, I've got a few bodies of water that I feel like I'm on the moon when I put my boat on the water, and I can't seem to get out of my own way, but that's definitely a tendency. And I like this, and I want to, I love this conversation. And a lot of guys that tournament fish, you guys get it, that, what we're talking about. And Gerald Swindle's taken on a seminar, the mental toughness is our working title, where he's taken on this exact thing that we're talking about here. And he's going to be giving that seminar for us in Alabama in just a couple of weeks. So guys, you want to check that out. And it applies to guys that don't tournament fish too. Like, because guys get into slumps of, that are just guys that are looking to gain confidence. Maybe they've had a few trips where they got skunked or zeroed and, lose confidence in their ability to get bites and catch them. So I think this kind of conversation applies to anglers, no matter what you do in the sport, that we all love. But we get kind of in, we're diving in pretty deep here, and I love that, John. But I know you got some other things going on. Rich was telling me you've got some other business that you're kicking off the ground this year. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so you get the branding on my hat. This Save More Outdoors is a company that I've started, developed, and we're just now getting off the ground. You can go to SaveMoreOutdoors.com and see it. But basically, we're like an overstocked or liquidated product company, and we're doing everything in outdoors. Now, we do have a gigantic fishing department to start with because we love fishing, so it's the easiest one. And we're bringing like wholesale prices to the public, but we are also at the moment, we haven't done very much reaching out, but we're in the process of reaching out and letting all the tackle stores know that we will be available to wholesale some of our products to them. So the idea and concept behind it is that we buy at such a price that we can sell where tackle stores can double their money and still give, bargain bin pricing, like 25% off or whatever to the consumer. So the moniker we have is like Save More, Fish More. Like we're going to help you save more so you can spend more time on the water and fish more. We actually got some really cool stuff. I got some in my hand right now. We were able to develop some frogs. So we got like one of our own frogs coming out. This one's like a popping frog, and then we got like a regular frog. Things of that nature that we're able to do that is going to be really cool. This one's called the Hypnotoad series, and so we're going to be able to, that's fun stuff, right? That's not stuff that's going to, put a whole bunch of money in the bank for us or anything like that, but we want to be able to have fun with what we're doing. And the outdoor space, is a lot broader horizon than I was in the past, just only focusing on electronics. I get to focus on, I'm not very good at focusing, actually. I like to kind of scatter around and do a bunch of different things. So this allows me to kind of go that way. So that's what we're doing. And hopefully the Elite Series will allow me to have that, that platform to promote the company and grow the company to.
Awesome. Well, good luck, man. Congratulations on getting that up and running. And, we're going to be watching you and rooting for you this year on the Elites. It's a real fun tournament trail to watch this year. I'm excited about it. And especially the stuff in Texas coming out of the gate. So I want to wish you best of luck this year.
I appreciate it.
And we appreciate you, man. This is it's great to share all this stuff that you're going through. And I'm looking forward to that 1% every day. It's gonna
point one.
Even more achievable. And you got this, man. I wish you all the best. And thanks so much. Thanks for being part of Bash U, John, man. I appreciate you a lot, and good luck this year.
I got one final note for you.
What do you got?
Before I came on the show, in the background, I heard someone say about how no one remembers the third place finisher.
Justin said that. Yep.
Justin said, okay. And to his point, I finished first place in NPFL, and 9 months later, my wife gave me a new baby boy. I finished third place at up in your guys' neck of the woods, and I came home and I had to mow the yard. So third place is definitely worse than first place. But be careful with too many first places. Those will cost you too.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Justin, you have a baby boy.
Oh.
I love it. I love it, John. Happy New Year, buddy. Have a great
Happy
day.
New Year, guys.
Thanks so much, man.
See you, John.
Little beetle running around.
Little beetle running around, Justin. Come on. That could be you.
I sure hope not.
Yeah. I love it. Well, you had to go home and mow the lawn too, the third place, didn't you?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember what happened. But
So that's part of your New Year's resolution, have a little beetle?
no.
Nope. Negative.
Yeah. And there's no more fishing if there's a little beetle.
And you got a little fishing partner. That's all. It's all good stuff, guys. That was deep dive into. Yep. I got to give John credit too, because you come off the worst season you probably ever had in anything. And it's man, you can get demoralized? You feel like you're in a slump, and kudos to him for taking it head on. I love his attitude.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said during the interview, it is hard to stay on the elites, and he really broke it down to how tight the narrow is, and like you were saying with KVD, one more bite a day can make all of the difference. I mean, I hope he pulls it off. It would be really cool to see.
Me too. It's crazy how one fish can just change like the entire outcome of the season. Like when we talked to Kyle Patrick, that one tournament that he ran 45 minutes down the lake to fish one tree and he caught a 5-pounder off, and that was the difference on him making the elites or not. It's just it's crazy. But John ended on he did great on the Harris chain in that last Bassmaster Open event, so hopefully he can carry that over into the elites next year.
That's nice. That's nice having that kind of confidence and momentum.
He ended the year off right there, so that should be huge.
One thing that I've picked up on, because we talked to a lot of guys, we've had seminars from a lot of guys, and there's certain people that like they swing for the fences and they always fish for the win, and that works for them. Other people, that's not how it works. And like I can completely relate with John. Like I feel like I'm that same way. Like if I can get around some fish and I can get some bites, I will make them be bigger in my mind somehow to make that happen. But like, man, if you're out there and you're having to work so hard all day and get 5 bites throughout the whole day, man, it's a hard deal. It really is. And like you've done a seminar for us, Pete, on how to become the best angler you can be, like within yourself. Like you got to understand what type of fisherman you are. You got to understand like how does my brain work? How am I going to put myself in the best position to succeed? Because one thing that's for sure in fishing, confidence is a hell of a drug in the sport of fishing. So
positively and negatively,
sure,
if it's working against you.
Yep.
And I've used that before in my own fishing, because I like the swing for the bleachers. Like I've done it so many times where, I'd run. He had success doing it, Justin, but I've made that run for an hour to go flip or go run up river, or, because I needed a big fish.
Right.
And just 99 times out of 100, you strike out when you're doing that. And I've learned over the years, like we've developed these mantras, like never leave feeding fish, or what my one of my mantras is, if I'm effectively culling, I never leave.
Right.
Like even if it's for ounces, day in and day out over a season, getting those extra couple ounces, that extra half a pound or pound is going to get you where you want to be in the championship, or more points, or whatever you may need, or in the check line.
Yeah.
Just staying and grinding and getting that extra weight. So it's a tough decision to make when you're out there on the water.
Yeah.
It is. You're sitting on 15 pounds. You're going to need 19 to win.
Yep.
You're gaining ounces. Do I keep doing what I'm doing? Do I make an adjustment to try to get bigger fish? With just a couple hours, it's such a difficult decision.
Yeah.
In tournament fishing, and that's what separates everybody, is what's between the ears.
Yeah.
Guys, we have a like and share contest going on over on social. Make sure you like and share the feed, because we're going to be giving away some cool stuff, and we also have a grand prize question that we're going to be asking here momentarily. Who has the question? You ready with it, Justin?
You're putting me on the spot. Let me.
All right,
let's do a quick commercial break, and then we can hit on that.
Justin's New Year's resolution is to make sure he has that question ready.
Well, I was
Johnny on the spot.
My mind was going down a bad hole, thinking I'm about to have a kid this year. So distracting. All right,
I can see where that'll be distracting. So all right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back with a question in a little bit.
the leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. Aquaview. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love catching fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That they're made right here in North Carolina in the USA. Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick, every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out there in a tournament.
Durability in the John Worman series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
On the water, not spent fishing is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together. The One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically. They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
And we're back.
We're back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
So the grand prize question is now on the Bass U chat board.
In the board.
And while we're waiting for that to get answered, let's hit the sub of the week.
Sub of the week of the year,
which is Jason O'Brien and his son.
Jason
with
the striper. Oh, Jay. What up, Jay? Jay.
Shout out the striper, man.
Jay's a camera guy.
Yep,
Works with the Featherwick crew. He's always out there slaying the saltwater critters.
That's awesome.
By the way, have you guys seen any of the? I don't want to blow it out too bad, but they are catching some giant stripers on the bay right now.
Yeah,
is that
South
right?
Bay? Yeah, like down south
Brian
of us.
Schmidt's way.
Yeah, but the commercial, his season's over. The headboat season is over, but they call it like the light tackle season.
Mm-hmm.
They are just like biggins. Then it's getting a lot more hype this year than it has in the last several years, and I pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
And I also paid attention to the fact that there was all April, May last year there'd be 50-pound stripers swimming through where we're trying to bass fish. So I don't know, maybe the regs, it's time to loosen them up a little bit. I don't know.
Well,
I know
they changed the
all over
the regulations to catch them again this year, so I don't even know if
you are allowed to catch them.
I don't
again?
know if you are. They changed it again, so I don't know if you're allowed to or not. But that used to be one of my favorite things, man. In April, catching them giants on top water.
I know. We'd actually have to stop largemouth fishing for a couple days to go chase them striped fish.
They were back this year.
So
let's do our like and share then.
Like and share winner. You got it, Joss.
Is 1 second. It's loading. Todd Fleshier.
Thank you, Todd.
Shout
Thanks
out,
for liking and sharing, buddy.
Yeah.
So we did the Christmas, the golden ticket.
Oh yes.
Membership deal, and we gave away 2 golden tickets for that. And I don't know if they're watching or paying attention, but our new subscriber that won the golden ticket is Tim D. So he won a
Welcome to Bash U,
Tim D. Golden ticket, man.
$250.
That's right. And then our current subscriber that won the gold ticket is Charles Crestwell. So shout out Charles.
Whoop, whoop.
Is that St. Crest?
St. Crest.
St. Crest.
Yes.
St. Crest golden
Happy
ticket
New
winner.
Year. Happy New Year,
Perfect
guys.
timing because isn't Willy Wonka just coming out?
It is. It is. I love the golden ticket.
Golden ticket.
Those Oompa Loompas freak me out.
Me
though.
too.
Golden ticket.
There.
So that whole movie freaked me out.
I know.
I know. People love it. People loved it. Speaking of what people love, what we have released last week at Bashu? What's coming up this week?
Well, what's coming up this week is we got 2 bangers coming to the airwaves, and the first one you're going to see coming out this week goes into our Tidal Water series, and that was with yours truly, the Dean, and we've already released a few in the Tidal Water series, and we did a how to fish through the tides. We did a how to fish blowout tides, and this week we're releasing how to fish the high tide scenarios, the most challenging of all of the scenarios. So we're coming out with that this week. Not a better instructor, that we could ever find than Pete, the Dean. I mean, this guy's got so much time in the tides. So we're releasing the high water segment this week. How to take on that challenging scenario. And then, man, it is the new year, and you know what that means? It's coming down south. It means pre-spawn is right around the corner, and we are releasing Lee Livesey pre-spawn techniques this week. That's our classroom release. We shot that last year in Texas, and I know we got some viewers from Texas. We got some guys that subscribe from Texas. Man, you're going to want to watch this one because he's giving up the juice. He's breaking down how to target those pre-spawn giants, where to find them, what to throw, where to go. So definitely want to check that out. That's it's going to be really something.
I have a feeling some of the elite anglers are going to be watching that seminar.
I would imagine so.
Rayburn and Fort coming.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
We've been saving that one for early release, and it's fitting to have Lee, one of the powerhouses out on the elites, and certainly in Texas, certainly on Lake Fork, to be talking about pre-spawn, because I don't seem so far away from us.
But for those guys down there, they got to start thinking about that now. It's coming right around the corner.
Yeah,
so.
It's now. Great releases, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. Do we have we got a winner over there?
Looks like Chad Thomas got it. Was 30th, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Chad Thomas.
Good job, Chad. Welcome
Chad.
Welcome to Bass U. Congratulations on beating Dan Allen. That's harder to do than scoring points on the elites. The guys, thanks again. Hope you have a wonderful new year, and good luck with all of your goals and plans for 2024. And we look forward to going down that road with you guys. And we will see you back here next week with another episode of Bass U Live. Have a great day, everybody.